Welcome to Hitchhikers TV. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This is for educational purposes. Let's explore together the amazing place around the globe. As we study the different amazing place on Earth. In no particular order or ranks. Number 1. The Rainbow Mountains in Zhangjiajie Geopark, China. The Rainbow Mountains of China within the Zhangjiajie Landform Geological Park are a geological wonder of the world. These famous Chinese mountains are known for their otherworldly colors that mimic a rainbow painted over the tops of rolling mountains. What causes these rainbow mountains in China? The Rainbow Mountains are Cretaceous sandstones and siltstones that were deposited in China before the Himalayan mountains were formed. The sand and silt was deposited with iron and trace minerals that provided it with the key ingredient to form the colors we see. When the process of weathering, mixed with water and oxygen, oxidizes elemental iron into iron oxide, which is notable for its dark red coloring. The Rainbow Mountains are largely characterized by this iron oxide staining of its sandstone Dangxia formation. The Zhangjiajie National Park is located in the Gansu province in China's northwest, covering 200 square miles. The site was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2009 and is the destination for many Chinese and international tourists. Number 2. Venice, Italy. Venice is a city in northeastern Italy and the capital of the Veneto region. It is situated on a group of 118 small islands that are separated by canals and linked by over 400 bridges. The islands are located in the shallow Venetian Lagoon, an enclosed bay that lies between the mouths of the Po and the Piave rivers, more exactly between the Brenta and the Sile. In 2018, 260,897 people resided in the Commune di Venezia, of whom around 55,000 live in the historical city of Venice, Centro Storico. Together with Padua and Treviso, the city is included in the Padua-Treviso-Venice metropolitan area, PATREV, which is considered a statistical metropolitan area, with a total population of 2.6 million. Today, Venice is recognized as part of the artistic and architectural patrimony of all humanity, a fitting role for a city whose thousand-year economic and political independence was sustained by its role in global trading. The situation of the city on islands has limited modern suburban spread beyond the historic center. Its framework of canals and narrow streets has prevented the intrusion of automobiles, and its unmatched wealth of fine buildings and monuments dating from the period of commercial dominance has ensured a keen and almost universal desire for sensitive conservation. This concern for conservation is now extended not just to the city's monuments but to the very city itself, as rising water levels and subsidence of the land upon which Venice is built threaten the continued existence of the city in its present form. In 1987, Venice and its lagoon were collectively designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 3. Banff National Park in Canada. Banff National Park is famous for its surreally colored lakes, majestic mountains, and endless outdoor adventures. Canada's first national park and the world's third, it has a rich heritage as one of the world's most awe-inspiring mountain destinations. Rocky mountain peaks, turquoise glacial lakes, a picture-perfect mountain town and village, abundant wildlife, and scenic drives come together in Banff National Park. Over 3 million visitors a year make the pilgrimage to the park for a variety of activities including hiking, biking, skiing and camping in some of the world's most breathtaking mountain scenery. Banff is part of the Canadian Rocky Mountain Park's UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 4. Great Ocean Road in Australia. The Great Ocean Road is an Australian National Heritage listed 243-kilometre stretch of road along the southeastern coast of Australia between the Victorian cities of Torquay and Allensford. It was then built by returned soldiers between 1919 and 1932 and dedicated to soldiers killed during World War I. The road is the world's largest war memorial. Starting from Melbourne, it's an easy drive taking you along cliff tops and surf beaches and through lush rainforest. Along the way, spot koalas, kangaroos, and even whales, zipline your way through a treetop canopy, climb to the peak of a volcanic crater, and relax over regional dining atop a cliff or by the beach. Number 5. Machu Picchu in Peru. More than 7,000 feet above sea level in the Andes Mountains, Machu Picchu is the most visited tourist destination in Peru. A symbol of the Incan Empire and built around 1450 AD, Machu Picchu, also spelled Machu Picchu, site of ancient Inca ruins located about 50 miles, 80 kilometers, northwest of Cuzco, Peru, in the Cordillera de Vilcabamba of the Andes Mountains. It is perched above the Urubamba River Valley in a narrow saddle between two sharp peaks, Machu Picchu, Old Peak, and Huayna Picchu, New Peak, at an elevation of 7,710 feet, 2,350 meters. One of the few major pre-Columbian ruins found nearly intact, Machu Picchu was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983 and was named one of the new 7 Wonders of the World in 2007. Number 6. Pamukkale, Turkey. Pamukkale, meaning Cotton Castle in Turkish, is a natural site in Denizli. Pamukkale is a town in western Turkey known for the mineral-rich thermal waters flowing down white travertine terraces on a nearby hillside. Its neighbors Hierapolis, an ancient Roman spa city founded around 190 BC. Ruins there include a well-preserved theater and an acropolis with sarcophagi that stretch for 2 kilometers. The antique pool is famous for its submerged Roman columns, the result of an earthquake. Pamukkale's terraces are made of travertine, a sedimentary rock deposited by mineral water from the hot springs. In this area, there are 17 hot springs with temperatures ranging from 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, to 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The water that emerges from the spring is transported 320 meters, 1,050 feet, to the head of the travertine terraces and deposits calcium carbonate on a section 60 to 70 meters, 200 to 230 feet, long, covering an expanse of 24 meters, 79 feet, to 30 meters, 98 feet. When the water, supersaturated with calcium carbonate, reaches the surface, carbon dioxide degasses from it, and calcium carbonate is deposited. Calcium carbonate is deposited by the water as a soft gel which eventually crystallizes into travertine. Number 7. Japan in cherry blossom season. On Japan's southern subtropical islands of Okinawa, cherry blossoms open as early as January, while on the northern island of Hokkaido, the flowering can be as late as May. In most major cities in between, such as Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, the cherry blossom season typically takes place in early April. A cherry blossom is a flower of many trees of genus Prunus. The most well-known species is the Japanese cherry, Prunus cerulata, which is commonly called sakura. They are widely distributed, especially in the temperate zone of the Northern Hemisphere, including Japan, Taiwan, Korea, mainland China, Nepal, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Myanmar, Thailand, Europe, United States, Canada, and West Siberia. Along with the chrysanthemum, the cherry blossom is considered the national flower of Japan. All varieties of cherry blossom trees produce small, unpalatable fruit or edible cherries. Edible cherries generally come from cultivars of the related species Prunus avium and Prunus cerasus. Number 8. Pitons in St. Lucia. The Pitons are 2 mountainous volcanic plugs, volcanic spires, located in St. Lucia. Gros Piton is 798.25 meters high, and Petit Piton is 743 meters high. They are linked by the Piton-Mitten Ridge. The Pitons are a World Heritage Site, 2,909 hectares in size, and located near the town of Soufriere in the regions near Latin America and the Caribbean. A survey has revealed 168 species of finfish, 60 species of cnidaria, including corals, 8 mollusks, 14 sponges, 11 echinoderms, 15 arthropods and 8 annelid worms. The dominant terrestrial vegetation is tropical moist forest grading to subtropical wet forest, with small areas of dry forest and wet elfin woodland on the summits. At least 148 plant species have been recorded on Gros Piton, 97 on Petit Piton and the intervening ridge, among them 8 rare tree species. The Gros Piton is home to some 27 bird species, 5 of them endemic, 3 indigenous rodents, 1 opossum, 3 bats, 8 reptiles, and 3 amphibians. Number 9. Marrakesh in Morocco. Marrakesh, a former imperial city in western Morocco, is a major economic center and home to mosques, palaces, and gardens. The Medina is a densely packed, walled medieval city dating to the Berber Empire, with maze-like alleys where thriving souks, marketplaces, sell traditional textiles, pottery, and jewelry. A symbol of the city, and visible for miles, is the Moorish minaret of 12th century Kautobia Mosque. Marrakesh is famous for its souks, markets, and Souk Semarin is the biggest of them all. Rugs, leather goods, silverware, and crockery of all shapes and sizes are on offer in this labyrinth. The region has been inhabited by Berber farmers since Neolithic times. The city was founded in 1070 by Emir Abu Bakr ibn Umar as the imperial capital of the Almoravid Empire. The city was one of Morocco's 4 imperial cities. In the 12th century, the Almoravids built many madrasas, Quranic schools, and mosques in Marrakesh that bear Andalusian influences. The red walls of the city, built by Ali ibn Yusuf in 1122, 1123, and various buildings constructed in red sandstone during this period, have given the city the nickname of the Red City, or Ochre City, Bil Ochre. Marrakesh grew rapidly and established itself as a cultural, religious, and trading center for the Maghreb and sub-Saharan Africa. Number 10. Bora Bora in French Polynesia. Bora Bora is a small South Pacific island northwest of Tahiti in French Polynesia. Surrounded by sand-fringed motus, islets, and a turquoise lagoon protected by a coral reef, it's known for its scuba diving. It's also a popular luxury resort destination where some guest bungalows are perched over the water on stilts. At the island's center rises Mount Atmanot, a 727 meters dormant volcano. It is one of the 118 islands of French Polynesia, surrounded by thousands of miles of Pacific Ocean. It's a favorite honeymoon spot and a popular retreat for celebrities with its teeming reefs, translucent waters, pristine beaches, warm hospitality, and rich culture, all in vivid color. It is surrounded by coral reefs. On the west side of Bora Bora is a large lagoon in which the smaller islands of Tupua and Tupua Iti protect a spacious harbor, popular with yachtsmen. Vete, the principal village and administrative center, is on the west coast. The island's name, the Tahitian spelling of which is Porapora, means firstborn. According to tradition, it was the first island created after Raiatea. Bora Bora was sighted by Dutch Admiral Jacob Roggeveen in 1722, visited by Captain James Cook in 1769 and 1777, and annexed by France in the late 19th century. During World War II, the island had an Allied naval base, and the islet of Mute, on the northwest side of Bora Bora's reef, was an Allied air base. The airport is still in use. Tourism is Bora Bora's primary economic activity. Chief products include copra, vanilla, and mother-of-pearl. Area 14.7 square miles, 38 square kilometers. Number 11. Oia in Santorini, Greece. Oia is a coastal town on the northwestern tip of Santorini, a Greek Aegean island. The town has whitewashed houses carved into the rugged cliff tops, and overlooks a vast caldera filled with water. In a 19th century mansion, the Naval Maritime Museum has exhibits on local seafaring history, including old figureheads, sailors' chests, and models of old ships. Nearby is the ruined Oia Castle, known for its sunset views. Oia Santorini, it is known throughout the world for its beauty, the fantastic sunset and some amazing luxury hotels. It is certainly the most beautiful and picturesque village of Santorini, and some say of Greece. The village is situated on top of an impressive cliff and offers a spectacular view over the volcano and the island of Thracia. Its streets have plenty of tourist shops, restaurants, cafes, and other shops. Oia is quieter than Fira, and the busiest area is the main pedestrian that runs along its length. At the entrance of the village there is a car park where visitors can leave their vehicle and enjoy long walks in the picturesque paths. The volcano from here is much less imposing, but you can still get some gorgeous views. Oia has several cultural attractions like the Maritime Museum, which houses a small library, items from the maritime life of the area, and the vestiges of a Venetian fortress. Many artists fell in love with the area and settled there. For that reason, the village of Oia has many art galleries. Oia also has a small port, Amadai, which can be reached by a set of 300 steps leading down. There, small boats can take you opposite, to the island of Thracia. The beach of Armenus is also located there. Taverns in Oia offer visitors tasty meals of fresh fish. Number 12. Tamil Nadu in India. Tamil Nadu, a South Indian state, is famed for its Dravidian-style Hindu temples. In Madurai, Meenakshi Amman Temple has high Gopuram towers ornamented with colorful figures. On Pamban Island, Ramnathaswamy Temple is a pilgrimage site. The town of Kanyakumari, at India's southernmost tip, is the site of ritual sunrises. Capital Chennai is known for beaches and landmarks including 1644 colonial Fort St. George. Tamil Nadu represents the Tamil-speaking area of what was formerly the Madras Presidency of British India. The Tamils are especially proud of their Dravidian language and culture, and they have notably resisted attempts by the central government to make Hindi, an Indo-Aryan language, the sole national language. While it has an industrial core in Chennai, the state is essentially agricultural. Area 50,216 square miles, 130,058 square kilometers. Hinduism lies at the core of the culture of Tamil Nadu. Among the most famous of the state's temples, which number in the tens of thousands, are the 70th and 8th century structures at Mamalapura, which were designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1984. The gopurams, or gateway towers, of such temples are dominant in most towns, particularly Chidambaram, Kanchipuram, Tanjavur, Madurai, and the Srirangam Pilgrimage Center in Tiruchirappalli. The Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Administration Department is responsible for the administration of the state's temples and sanctuaries. Number 13. Torres del Paine National Park in Chile. Torres del Paine National Park, in Chile's Patagonia region, is known for its soaring mountains, bright blue icebergs that cleave from glaciers and golden pampas, grasslands, that shelter rare wildlife such as llama-like guanacos. Some of its most iconic sites are the three granite towers from which the park takes its name and the horn-shaped peaks called Cuernos del Paine. The park was founded on May 13, 1959 as Turismo Lago Grey National Park. 2 years later the park was named as Torres del Paine National Park. Nowadays the park takes place in the National System of Protected Areas of Chile. CONAF, National Corporation of Forest, administrates the area since 1973 and maintains a permanent occupancy at the park since 1975. The park rangers, women and men that live in the park, is essential to preserve the biodiversity of the area, their natural and cultural resources for the benefit of future and present generations. In April 1978, The park was stated as Biosphere Reserve by the UNESCO, and since then it belongs to the selected group of representative areas from the different ecosystems of the world. In November 2013, the website virtualtourist.com from TripAdvisor Media Group qualified the park as the 8th wonder of the world, after a 4-month contest in which people had to choose one tourist destination among 330 different places of over 50 countries. Torres del Paine National Park has experienced an important rise of visitors, 115,000 per year, being third most visited park of the country. Number 14. Forbidden City, Beijing in China. Forbidden City, Chinese, Pinyin, Zaijinchinj or, Wade Giles romanization, Zechinxiachang, Imperial Palace Complex at the heart of Beijing, Peking, China. Commissioned in 1406 by the Yongle Emperor of the Ming Dynasty, it was first officially occupied by the court in 1420. It was so named because access to the area was barred to most of the subjects of the realm. Government functionaries and even the imperial family were permitted only limited access. The emperor alone could enter any section at will. The 178-acre, 72-hectare, compound was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987 in recognition of its importance as the center of Chinese power for 5 centuries, as well as for its unparalleled architecture and its current role as the Palace Museum of Dynastic Art and History. The Forbidden City ceased to be the seat of Qing, Manchu, imperial government with the Chinese Revolution of 1911-12. Although some of the ancient buildings, which had been repaired and rebuilt since the 15th century, were lost to the ravages of the revolution and during the war with Japan, 1937-45, the site was maintained as a whole. Huai, the last Qing emperor, was permitted to live there after his abdication, but he secretly left the palace, and Beijing, in 1924. In the late 20th century several of the palace buildings were restored. Number 15. Amalfi Coast in Italy. Amalfi, the best-known town on the Amalfi Coast, has a superb cathedral, a tempting labyrinth of picturesque streets, and a mountain ring setting that can be explored on foot or admired from the sea. A staircase of homes tumbling down to the sea, Positano is one of Italy's most memorable towns. Italy's Amalfi Coast boasts a classic Mediterranean landscape, a sensual blend of both natural and cultural wonders. The breathtaking terrain includes dramatic coastline topography scattered with terraced vineyards, orchards, and pastures, often with enchanting views of the vibrant waters below. Kind climate, abundant resources, and natural beauty have drawn people to this coast for many centuries, and the Greeks, Romans, Normans, Saracens, Arab Sicilians, and many others have left their mark. Amalfi communities often cluster along cliffs, their terraces blending into the rock to add their own picturesque charm to the natural beauty of the coast. Upon closer inspection, towns like Amalfi and Ravello are home to many examples of artistic and architectural excellence. Not a surprise, since this stretch of the Sorrento Peninsula has long attracted famous artists of all stripes. Number 16. Krabi in Thailand. Krabi is famed for its breathtaking karst landscape, and Tiger Cave Temple, or Wat Tom Sua in Thai, is a series of temples that includes a stunning Buddha statue just a mere 1,247 steps up to the summit of a mountain. Krabi, Thai, pronounced Kra with Macron.B, is the main town in the province of Krabi, Disabon Mueang, on the west coast of southern Thailand at the mouth of the Krabi River where it empties in Phang Nga Bay. At the start of the Ratanakosin or Bangkok period in the late 18th century, when the capital was finally settled at Bangkok, an elephant kraal was established in Krabi by order of Chow Phra Nakorn, Noi, the governor of Nakhon Si Tom Mara, which was by then a part of the Thai kingdom. Citation needed. He sent his vizier, the Phra Palid, to oversee this task, which was to ensure a regular supply of elephants for the larger town. So many followers immigrated in the steps of the Phra Palid that soon Krabi had a large community in 3 different boroughs, Pakase, Klong Pon, and Paklao. In 1872, King Chulalongkorn elevated these to town status, called Krabi, a word that preserves in its meaning the monkey symbolism of the old standard. The town's first governor was Luang Thepsina, though it continued for a while as a dependency of Nakhon Si Mara. This was changed in 1875, when Krabi was raised to a fourth-level town in the old system of Thai government. Administrators then reported directly to the central government in Bangkok, and Krabi's history as an entity separate from other provinces had begun. Number 17. Fiordland National Park in New Zealand. Fiordland National Park is in the southwest of New Zealand's South Island. It's known for the glacier-carved fjords of Doubtful and Milford Sounds. A beach forest trail on the sandy Milford shore offers views of towering Mitre Peak. Nearby, the craggy Earl Mountains are reflected in the glassy surface of Mirror Lakes. On the Cleddau River, the Chasm Walk passes over bridges with views of powerful waterfalls. The variety of habitats in Fiordland support a diverse range of flora and fauna, with many developing in relative isolation leading to a high rate of endemism, or plants and animals that have evolved to be completely unique to this area. The author of the book Mountains of Water, The Story of Fiordland National Park described this stunning national park as a cherished corner of the world where mountains and valleys compete with each other for room, where scale is almost beyond comprehension, rainfall is measured in meters and scenery encompasses the broadest width of emotions. Number 18. Bagan in Myanmar. Bagan is famous for its thousands of old pagodas and stupas stretching into the horizon. Bagan was the capital of the Kingdom of Pagan from the 9th to the 13th centuries, a period in which some 50 Buddhist kings ruled the Pagan dynasty. Bagan, Burmese, MLCTS, PU.GAM, BA with grave, formerly Pagan, is an ancient city and a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the Mandalay region of Myanmar. From the 9th to 13th centuries, the city was the capital of the Pagan Kingdom, the first kingdom that unified the regions that would later constitute modern Myanmar. During the kingdom's height between the 11th and 13th centuries, 4,446 Buddhist temples, pagodas, and monasteries were constructed in the Bagan Plains alone, of which the remains of 3,822 temples and pagodas still survive to the present day. Bagan stands out for not only the sheer number of religious edifices of Myanmar but also the magnificent architecture of the buildings, and their contribution to Burmese temple design. The artistry of the architecture of pagodas in Bagan proves the achievement of Myanmar craftsmen in handicrafts. The Bagan temple falls into one of two broad categories, the stupa-style solid temple and the gu-style, hollow temple. Number 19. Havasu Falls in Arizona. Havasu Falls is a waterfall of Havasu Creek, located in the Grand Canyon, Arizona, United States of America. It is within Havasu Pai tribal lands. Havasu Falls is the more famous and most visited of the various falls along Havasu Creek. It consists of one main chute that drops over a 90 to 100 foot, 27 to 30 meters, vertical cliff into a series of plunge pools. High calcium carbonate concentration in the water creates the vivid blue-green color and forms the natural travertine dams that occur in various places near the falls. Number 20. Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, Abu Dhabi in United Arab Emirates. The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque is located in Abu Dhabi, the capital city of the United Arab Emirates. The largest mosque in the country, it is the key place of worship for daily, Friday and Eid prayers. During Eid, it may be visited by more than 41,000 people. The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque takes its name from the UAE's first president and the ruler of Abu Dhabi, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, who conceived the idea. The mosque has had its fair share of celebrity visitors and is especially loved by the supermodels Step Forward Gigi Hadid, Kendall Jenner, Shanina Sheikh, Chanel Iman, and Halima Aden, who all don traditional wear to marvel at the breathtaking place of worship. Modest dress is a must for all visitors as it's a Muslim site. Women should cover their legs, arms and heads, and men are required to wear long trousers. However, the mosque does provide free traditional abayas, robes, prior to entry, which takes the hassle out of trying to find a mosque-appropriate outfit. Everyone must remove their shoes before entering, so bring a pair of socks if you prefer not to walk around barefoot. You'll need a pair of sunglasses when marveling at the outside as the sun reflects on the marble surface of the courtyard. The mosque is always busy, but as it's Number 21. Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon is the stunning capital city of Portugal, and is one of the most charismatic and vibrant cities of Europe. It is a city that effortlessly blends traditional heritage with striking modernism and progressive thinking. As a holiday destination, Lisbon offers a rich and varied history, a buzzing nightlife, and is blessed with a glorious year-round climate. This guide will provide an introduction to Lisbon, by answering some of the common holiday questions and providing links to further in-depth information. Lisbon, Portuguese Lisboa, city, port, capital of Portugal, and the center of the Lisbon metropolitan area. Located in western Portugal on the estuary of the Tejo River, it is the westernmost capital city in continental Europe and serves as the country's chief port, largest city, and commercial, political, and tourist center. The city's name is a modification of the ancient Ulisipo, and its founding has been attributed to the legacy of Ulysses, Odysseus, the hero of Homer's Odyssey, to Elisha, purported to have been a grandson of the Hebrew patriarch Abraham, and, more credibly, to Phoenician colonists. Lisbon owes its historical prominence to its natural harbor, one of the most beautiful in the world. Area city, 33 square miles, 85 square kilometers. Number 22. Fernando de Noronha, Brazil. Fernando de Noronha is a volcanic archipelago about 350 kilometers off Brazil's northeast coast. It's named after its largest island, a protected national marine park and ecological sanctuary with a jagged coastline and diverse ecosystems. It's renowned for its undeveloped beaches, and for scuba diving and snorkeling. Sea turtles, rays, dolphins, and reef sharks swim in its warm, clear waters. Comprised of 21 islands and islets, the archipelago of Fernando de Noronha is a paradise of indescribable beauty, and was declared a Natural World Heritage Site by UNESCO. For the islands to continue to preserve their nature, the number of visitors is limited and you have to pay an environmental preservation fee to enter the island. The combination of crystal clear waters, golden sands, and marine life fascinate people from all over the world. Its beaches are divided between the inside sea, waters toward the Brazilian mainland, and the outside sea, waters toward the Atlantic Ocean. It is very common to see these waters in the lists of the most beautiful beaches of Brazil and the world, such as the beaches Praia dos Porcos, Praia dos Leos, and Baía do Sancho, twice elected the best beach of the planet by the Traveler's Choice Awards of TripAdvisor. New at the heart of a vast ocean surface, the Brazilian Atlantic Islands form an oasis of fertile waters, which are extremely important breeding and living places for tuna, shark, turtle, and marine mammals, and which play a crucial role in the natural fish restocking of the region. Two species of sea turtle breed there, the hawksbill and green turtle, for which the Rocas Atoll is considered the second most important breeding site of Brazil. These islands are home to the largest concentration of tropical seabirds in the western Atlantic, and include the only examples of insular Atlantic forest and the only oceanic mangrove in the South Atlantic. Dolphin Bay, Baía dos Golfinhos, hosts an exceptional population of resident dolphin, and at low tide, Rocas Atoll provides a spectacular seascape of lagoons and tidal pools teeming with fish and a great variety of shellfish, sponges, mollusks. 23 St. Basil's Cathedral, Moscow, Russia. The Cathedral of Vasily the Blessed, commonly known as St. Basil's Cathedral, is a Christian church in Red Square in Moscow, Russia, and is regarded as a cultural symbol of the country. The Cathedral of the Intercession of the Virgin on the Moat is better known as the Cathedral of St. Basil the Blessed, St. Basil's Cathedral. It is the most recognizable church in Russia. St. Basil's Cathedral was built in the 16th century by order of Ivan the Terrible. Since then it has fascinated travelers coming to Moscow. Some found it bizarre, others were entranced by its unusual beauty. Many legends have been told about it, that the cruel Russian Tsar had the architect blinded in order to prevent him from building a more magnificent building for anyone else, or that Napoleon wanted to destroy the cathedral when he realized he couldn't relocate it to Paris. What makes people invent all these stories? The fairy tale cathedral still dominates Red Square and impresses its beauty on our imagination. St. Basil's was built by order of Tsar Ivan IV, Ivan the Terrible, to commemorate the capture of the Tatar stronghold Kazan in 1552. Legend holds that the architects were blinded by Ivan the Terrible after they completed the cathedral so that they could not replicate such a beautiful structure. The cathedral was commissioned by Ivan the Terrible to commemorate the capture of the Khanate of Kazan, and was constructed from 1555 to 1561. St. Basil's is actually a cluster of buildings, a central church surrounded by 9 auxiliary churches, 8 of which are dedicated to Ivan's 8 victories over the Tatars, and a smaller one consecrated to St. Basil. This popular Moscow saint was buried in the grounds, and his name later became the name of the cathedral. Number 24. Cape Town, South Africa. The city is known for its harbor, for its natural setting in the Cape Floristic region, and for landmarks such as Table Mountain and Cape Point. Until the Witwatersrand Gold Rush and the development of Johannesburg, Cape Town was the largest city in South Africa. Cape Town, city and seaport, legislative capital of South Africa and capital of Western Cape Province. The city lies at the northern end of the Cape Peninsula, some 30 miles, 50 kilometers, at its southernmost boundary, north of the Cape of Good Hope. Because it was the site of the first European settlement in South Africa, Cape Town is known as the country's mother city. The city of Cape Town had its origin in 1652, when the Dutch East India Company established a refreshment station for its ships on the shores of Table Bay. The location was magnificent, on well-watered, fertile soil, beneath the precipitous walls of Table Mountain. The indigenous inhabitants provided cattle but not labor, and the company imported slaves, mainly from East Africa, Madagascar, and the Bay of Bengal area. The slaves brought with them something of their culture and especially in the case of the Muslims from the East Indies their religion. Mixed race unions took place, but strong racial and ethnic characteristics remained. In 1781 the French established a garrison to help the Dutch defend the city against British attack, and the French presence influenced local architecture and culture. British occupation in the 19th century brought new parliamentary and judicial concepts and freedom for the slaves. Number 25. Blue Lagoon, Iceland. The Blue Lagoon, Icelandic, Bláni, is a geothermal spa in southwestern Iceland. The spa is located in a lava field near Grindavik and in front of Mount Orbjörn on Reykjanes Peninsula, in a location favorable for geothermal power, and is supplied by water used in the nearby Svartsengi geothermal power station. The Blue Lagoon is one of Iceland's most popular attractions, and it's little wonder as to why. The beautiful milky blue water is unlike anything else found on Earth, and makes a stark contrast to the surrounding black lava fields and its creeping gray moss. It sits at 39 degrees Celsius, 102 degrees Fahrenheit, year-round, making it the perfect temperature for bathing. The lagoon is situated on the Reykjanes Peninsula in southwest Iceland, a region renowned for its barren landscapes and cone-shaped volcanoes. It is only a 15-minute drive from the Keflavik International Airport, and around a 30-minute drive from the capital city, Reykjavik. That makes it the perfect first stop when arriving in Iceland, or last stop before you leave the country. Due to its excellent location, its soothing waters and rich skin nourishment, the Blue Lagoon quickly became Iceland's most visited attraction, rivaled only by the Golden Circle sightseeing route.